Hey, what's going on, everybody? Tommy Star here. Thank you for clicking on this video. Welcome to my latest physical media update, all my pickups for the month of February. So February was a very big month, one of the biggest ones I've had in a while. We got a lot of new releases, a bunch of new stuff from the boutique labels, all sorts of really cool stuff. 76 pickups. I cannot wait to get into everything and show you guys. But before we do so, if you're not subscribed to the channel yet and you enjoy these monthly physical media updates, make sure you hit the subscribe button right down below and the notification bell. That way you guys always get alerted every time I upload a new video. And if you enjoyed this update here today, give it a thumbs up. So let's see what we're looking at today. So we got a nice little stack of Stillbooks, tons of A to Z and horror, one Disney, a good stack of DC and Marvel. And then when it comes to boutique labels, we have some really cool Scream Factory, some collector editions. We have tons of Vinegar Syndrome. Definitely the most Vinegar Syndrome I've ever shown in an update. And then we have a few Arrow and some Kino, and then one MVD Rewind. So lots to talk about. Let's get started. So we're going to start things out with Disney. Like I said, only one title, and that's the new animated film Encanto. I saw bits and pieces of this, but my whole family saw it, absolutely loved it. So always happy to pick up new Disney. Okay, moving on to the DC Marvel. We have 5 total, 3 Marvel and 2 DC. Starting out with the Marvel, we have the most recent Marvel Cinematic Universe film, and that is Eternals. Haven't watched it yet. I've been kind of putting it off because I've heard so many bad reviews on this movie. I will watch it soon. Obviously, I love the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I'm going to watch every single movie that comes out. We'll get to it soon. Next up here, we got the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy on 4K. This has come to 4K before in that Stillbook set, and I think it had a Digibook set too. Never gotten any individual releases of these here in the US. I think they have overseas. But now I finally have these movies on 4K. The Mark Webb Amazing Spider-Man films just got a set like this too this month, which you guys just seen in my recent weekly pickups video. So really happy to have all the Spider-Man movies now on 4K. And the last Marvel title comes from one of the Marvel imprints, and that is the 3rd film in the Kingsman franchise, and that is The Kingsman. I haven't watched this yet because I've only ever seen the first movie. I still haven't seen the second one. I loved the first movie. Greg's been telling me to watch the second one, though he did say it's not as good as the first. This one, I believe, is supposed to be a prequel. So we will definitely get to that at some point, but had to pick this up because I had the other 2. Looking at the DC pickups now. First up, we have the complete 2nd season of Stargirl. I love buying these DC series when they come out. It's a really cool collection. They look really cool up on the shelf together. So I'm going to keep getting them. I know I haven't watched barely any of them. One day I will. I say that all the time. And then we have the new DC animated film, Catwoman Hunted. And again, I buy all of these, which I've barely seen any of them as well. So one day I'm just going to take off like 2 weeks of work and just sit down and watch all these animated films and all these series. So that takes us to the horror pickups. I got a really nice stack. We're going to go ahead and start out with a couple of series that I picked up. I've been wanting to get these for a really long time into the collection. We got the complete series of Hannibal. I've heard a lot of really good things about this show. Really happy to have this. And then I finally picked up the complete series of Bates Motel. Unfortunately, this came pretty messed up from Amazon. I suppose I could probably exchange it, but I'm not that worried about it. Again, I've heard really good things about this show. I love the Psycho movies, so this should definitely be fun. So really cool set. You get 5 individual Amries, so happy to have both of these in the collection. All right, getting into the horror Amries, I only have 2. First up here is a new film from Full Moon. I believe it came out last year, called Don't Let Her In. This one looked really cool, so I wanted to pick it up. Next here is the February Horror Pack exclusive, a movie called Morbid Colors. Looks really interesting. Don't know anything about this. Okay, the horror slipcovers now. We got a lot. First up here is a new Shudder original called Superhost. I always buy every single Shudder title that comes out. From MVD Visual, we have a movie called Ghost Riders. This one looks like a lot of fun. So I picked up a couple of new Tempe digital releases from the MakeFlix website. Haven't gotten anything from there for a long time. And I noticed that they had a couple new ones that I hadn't owned yet. So first up is something called the Shock Cinema. I don't honestly know what this is. At first I thought it was some kind of a anthology film or something, but I guess it's some kind of a documentary based on these certain films or something. Maybe you guys know more about it than I do, but it was a Tempe digital title, so had to pick it up. And then the other one, this one looks really cool. A film called Bloodletting. And of course, most of the time, these Tempe digital releases, if you get them early enough, they're always signed by usually the director and producers and things like that. So yeah, I just happened to add new Tempe digital titles to the collection. So the last 5 I'm going to show you here are all RLJE releases. A couple of old ones, a couple of new ones. First up are the Wolf Cop films. Never owned these movies, and I ended up getting the second one in the February Horror Pack. So I jumped on eBay and I got the first one, found it with a slip, and then this one didn't come with a slip when I got it, so I found a slipcover on eBay for this one as well. So really happy to finally have both these movies on Blu-ray with slipcover. I heard that they're fun movies, so definitely excited to check these out. And then also in the February Horror Pack, a Gary Oldman film called Mary from RLJE. And then we got a couple of new titles here. First up is some animated film that just looks crazy, but everybody was buying it, so I decided to grab it. The Spine of Night. Yeah, I guess this is supposed to be pretty crazy. So I picked it up. And then the last one is a Bruce Willis film called Apex. Some kind of a sci-fi thriller. So yeah, lots of new RLJE for the collection. Okay, my A to Z titles. First up is the one and only one I got without a slipcover, and that is the movie Black Dog with Patrick Swayze. You also get Meatloaf, rest in peace, and Randy Travis in this movie. Haven't seen it in many, many years, but I've always wanted to pick it up and rewatch it because I remember it being kind of a cool movie. I love anything with Patrick Swayze, so... Okay, so for the Blu-ray slipcovers, we got Clifford the Big Red Dog. I remember reading these books when I was younger, so definitely wanted to pick this up. A new Ridley Scott film here called House of Gucci. Craig saw this in the theater and thought it was great and told me I had to pick it up. Awesome cast. You get Lady Gaga, Adam Driver, Jared Leto, Jeremy Irons, Al Pacino. Cannot wait to check this out. I know Jess really wants to see it also. So, unfortunately, this didn't get a 4K. I think it was going to at first, but then it got canceled or something. I don't know. A new Mill Creek title here with one of their retro VHS slipcovers with C. Thomas Howell and Peter Horton. We got Side Out. Don't really know much about this movie, but I like collecting all of Mill Creek's, cool VHS slipcover line. I don't know why we only got one this time around. Usually they, release a few at a time, but yeah, only one. Next up here is a new film with Will Smith called King Richard, based on a true story, some kind of a tennis movie. Definitely sounded cool. American Underdog, pretty cool looking football movie with Zachary Levi, Anna Paquin, and Dennis Quaid. Definitely want to pick this one up. I love football movies. So that takes us to the A to Z 4K, and we got a lot here. First up, we got Ghostbusters Afterlife. Absolutely love this movie. Saw it in the theater. I've already watched it since having the 4K. If you guys haven't seen it yet and you're a Ghostbusters fan, definitely get on this. It is so cool. I was pretty disappointed that we didn't get a Stillbook release in the US. There was a Zavi one that I missed out on. And of course, they had that big cool Ultimate Collector's Edition box set that I missed out on as well. So unfortunately, couldn't get my hands on any cool exclusives, but With this type of movie, I'm pretty sure at some point we'll get a Best Buy exclusive Stillbook or something. So, but yeah, gotta love this movie. So a couple months ago, this movie came to 4K only on Stillbook, and now we finally got a slipcover edition, and that is Almost Famous. So I've been trying to find these movies on 4K with slip for a really long time for Jess, because she's a huge fan of these movies. I sat down and watched them all with her once. Wasn't a big fan. They're not really my style of movie, but she loves them, and I figured these would look really good in 4K. So found them online in one of the Facebook groups that I'm in. But we got The Hunger Games, and then The Hunger Games Catching Fire, The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1, and of course Mockingjay Part 2. Got a really good deal on these. They're pretty spendy on eBay. Like I said, I've been looking for a while and never really found a price that I wanted to pay. So really happy to find a good deal on these for Jess. Another title here I've been trying to get on 4K with slip for a really long time, and the slipcover's out of print, so it's going for a lot on eBay. Well, I was patient. I wasn't going to pay any crazy price for this. And the seller that actually bought the Hunger Games movies from had the slipcover for this for sale. Gave me a really good deal. So happy to find this. I just went on Amazon and picked up the movie once I had the slip, because the movie's only like 13 bucks on Amazon. But that is Starship Troopers. Now, I've actually never seen it. I just really wanted it bad because Craig loves this movie and always tells me how cool it is. So to get this with slip is pretty hard. Like I said, pretty spendy. So finally got it. So happy. So the last three here now came to 4K for the first time in February. First, we got Looper with Bruce Willis. Cool movie. So it wasn't that long ago that we got a Scream Factory Collector Edition Blu-ray of this movie. And now we have it on 4K from Paramount, but that is Escape from LA. Always loved this movie a little bit more than Escape from New York. I saw this one first before I ever even knew that Escape from New York existed. Didn't know that this was a sequel. This was many years ago when I first saw this, but yeah, really like this movie. And the last A to Z title is a film that I was so happy when they announced was coming to 4K. Love this movie. Love the new cover on this. And that is the Stephen King film, The Green Mile, with, of course, Tom Hanks. I've already watched it. The transfer looks great. I'm just so happy to finally have this movie on 4K. Okay, we're going to get into the boutique releases now. We have a lot, especially Vinegar Syndrome. So I'm going to go ahead and start with those. We're going to try to just fly through these so it doesn't take forever. First couple I'm going to show you here are the 4K releases. We got a really cool box set for the film Flesh for Frankenstein. Never seen this, but this was a cool set that a lot of people were picking up. You get a couple different editions of it, like a 3D one, so really happy to have that. And then we have Dead Heat on 4K. This one looked really cool. And then Ebola Syndrome. This movie is supposed to be absolutely insane. And then my first VSP pickup. This is, I guess, one of Vinegar Syndrome's own releases that they produced, I guess. A movie called Censor. And this really cool box set. So really happy to have that. And then the rest are just the standard Blu-ray releases. So we got Tough Guys Don't Dance, Surf 2, Creature, Curfew, Sugar Cookies, Count Dracula's Great Love, Graduation Day, Steel and Lace, Trauma, Don't Answer the Phone, and Frightmare. So happy to have all these new Vinegar Syndrome releases for the collection. Lots of really cool looking stuff. Only one MVD Rewind in this update, number 37, a film with Matt Dillon called Liar's Moon. Never seen this movie, but definitely looks good. Love the slipcover with the cool damage at the bottom. Okay, the Arrow pickups. I got 3 of them here. First up is a new release from Arrow called Deadly Games. This one looked cool, so wanted to grab it. Now, this one here came out a while ago, and the slipcover went out of print, and then I think it was Diabolic DVD that re-released it with a slipcover, and I missed out on that one as well. And I went on eBay recently and found a seller that had it pretty cheap. So that is the movie Scared Stiff. Don't know anything about this, but it always looked like something I wanted to have. And now this one. Now, I had no plan on getting this when they announced it because I hadn't really heard of it before. And then I find out that like everybody's buying it and they're all saying it's a really cool movie and they were so happy to see it come to Blu-ray and this cool box set from Arrow. So I decided, okay, I'll get it. And then it was sold out everywhere. I waited a little bit and I actually found it on eBay for a pretty decent price. But because people were talking so highly of it, I had to grab it. And that is the movie Phantom of the Mall, Eric's Revenge. Some kind of cool 80s cheese fest. I don't know. But really cool looking set here. Of course, you get the booklet and everything like Arrow does. So I'm excited to watch this movie. I'm just really happy to have this in the collection. Okay, that takes us to the Kino Lorber. I got 5 of them, and one is a 4K. First up here is one that came out, I think, a couple months ago, and I didn't get it. And then I changed my mind and decided to pick it up. And that is a movie called Get Crazy. You get Malcolm McDowell in here, Daniel Stern. Came out in 1983. So, yeah. Don't know anything about it. It just looked really cool. And then as far as the newer releases for February, we have a movie called The Antichrist. Don't know much about this, but wanted to grab it. And then we have the FX double feature, FX and FX2 with Brian Brown and Brian Dennehy. I remember these movies being pretty cool, so happy to see this release. This one here, you guys, I was so excited when they announced this. I just don't know what took so long to put this movie on Blu-ray. It's a fantastic movie. It's Jim Carrey, and that is A Man on the Moon. And we got a slipcover and everything. So happy. Just watched this the other night. It's been a few years since I've seen it, but for those who may not have seen it, it's a biopic on Andy Kaufman, and Jim Carrey just nails it. Great cast in here. Paul Giamatti, Danny DeVito. So happy to finally see this on Blu-ray. And the last Kino title here is a 4K. A movie that I wasn't really going to get at first because I'm not big on 50s and 60s movies. But everybody was grabbing this, and I know that it's a classic. So I figured, you know what? Why not? And that is the movie The Great Escape with Steve McQueen, James Garner. And you also get Donald Pleasance in here. That's awesome. But yeah, I'll watch this at some point because, like I said, it's just a classic, and everybody talks about this movie being really good. So, okay, we're going to go ahead and end the boutique pickups with the Scream Factory. First up, we got Toolbox Murders 2. We just recently got part 1 on 4K from Blue Underground, and I didn't know that Scream Factory actually released the second one, so I figured have to pick that up. So really happy to find that with the slip. Next, we got a Slumber Party Massacre remake from Scream Factory that, believe it or not, I've been hearing that it's a decent movie. Happy to have this. Getting into the collector's editions now. We have another Hammer title here called Paranoiac. And then a 4K collector edition for The Howling. Scream Factory is just re-releasing all their Blu-ray collector's editions on 4K now. So, but I'm a collector. Got to get them all. And then we got the 4K collector's edition for Alligator. Never seen this movie, but I heard it's just a great time. Kind of a cool release for Scream Factory to put out. So really excited to check this out. And then they did release the second one, Alligator 2, The Mutation, but just a standard release. So, all right, that is all the boutique labels. Let's go ahead now and end with the Steelbooks. Okay, so the first Steelbook we're going to look at here is for The Spine of Night. Now, another one of those things where RLJE released a Blu-ray slipcover edition, and then they released a 4K Steelbook. I think they did that with Prisoners of the Ghostland, that Nick Cage movie. But anyways, the Steelbook looked really cool, so I wanted to pick it up. There's the front. There's the back, spine, and the inside. We got a really cool Steelbook here from Paramount for the movie Wayne's World. Everybody bought this one. Just a cool looking Steelbook with all the quotes from the movie on the front there and on the back. There's the spine and the inside. The Best Buy exclusive 4K Steelbook for The Green Mile. Such a cool looking Steelbook. I love this. I like how you open it up. It's kind of like the whole mile. And then there is the inside. Next up here is a Steelbook I just kind of stumbled upon on Amazon, and it was really cheap. It was like $7 or $8, and that is Law Abiding Citizen. Now, this was a movie that Craig has been after me to see for so long. The last few times him and I have gotten together, we've meant to watch it, but we didn't. And he just talks so highly of this movie. I have to see it. I just got to watch this movie and get it over with. But there's the front and the back, spine, and there's nothing on the inside. Next up here, we have the Best Buy exclusive 4K Steelbook for Eternals. You guys know me, I got to get a Steelbook for every single MCU movie. And the inside. Okay, and the last pickup here for this update is a Steelbook box set, and that is for the Kingsman Collection. This was a Best Buy exclusive. You get all three movies, The Kingsman, Kingsman the Secret Service, Kingsman the Golden Circle. There's the back. I obviously did a full unboxing review of this in the weekly pickups video when this came out, but just give you a quick look at the Steelbooks. I mentioned this before, not a big fan of the fact that they're all just in there together without dividers, so it's like they can get all scratched up. But anyways, there's the Kingsman. I believe I show the inside of these. Yeah, I've shown the inside. So if you guys want to see it in full detail, like usual, all unboxing videos will be down in the description box. Kingsman the Secret Service and Kingsman the Golden Circle. Okay, that'll do it for my February physical media update, all 76 pickups. And like I said, some really cool stuff. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think of the pickups. Let me know what cool releases you guys found in the month of February. And if you would, share the video around. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.